Hey Queens, I'm standing here at the Fair Trade Co-op in the Lower JDAC. Today is their grand opening, and as you can see, they're giving away some free tea. It's pretty cool. So I'm just actually going to go and talk to some of the executive and see what they have to say about this really cool kiosk I have over here. In your mandate, it calls for global citizenship. Oxfam's policy is global citizenship, and I was just curious as to what you thought that meant.
I would say that the Oxfam Queen's vision of global citizenship is generally the idea of, for one, universal human rights, and citizenship in that we all have the rights to certain basic freedoms, freedom of, living not in abject poverty, freedom of expression, freedom of, the basic human rights that all humans are entitled to. So Oxfam Queen's vision is to promote this idea of non-hierarchical citizenship and the idea that everyone is entitled to free and fair trade and a substantial living existence.
Global citizenship, I guess, to me would just be being conscious of everything that's going on in the world, your impact, your role, how you can not only make it better, but reduce sort of the negative impact that we all have on the world, because, it's inevitable that we all do have that impact.
I know you're currently working on 3 projects. Can you just embellish a bit on what those 3 projects are?
Absolutely. So the way Oxfam Queens is organized is that we have 2 campaigns and a project. Our 2 campaigns are No Sweat and Queens Fair Trade, and our project is the Oxfam Co-op. So the idea of No Sweat and Queens Fair Trade is that we're trying to promote student activism and as well as educate students and generally, in some cases, lobby the administration towards the goals of these groups, which are a No Sweat campus and more access to fair trade goods on campus. And then the Fair Trade Co-op is kind of a manifestation of these goals, so that if people are like, oh, that's great, I want to buy fair trade chocolate, but where can I do it? They have somewhere that they can go. And it's a resource in terms of the fact that all of the volunteers are trained to be able to talk about fair trade and talk about No Sweat. So if students want to use it as a resource for their own research, they can come here and be like, I don't really understand what a living wage is, and we'll be able to provide that knowledge.
What do you feel the benefits of this co-op is?
It's good to have somewhere on campus where people can buy fair trade goods. A lot of our services sort of lean towards sustainability or fair trade, especially like the tea room last year started up. But at the same time, there isn't anywhere that's really just strictly fair trade, and that's the main goal of it. So we can not only sell those products, but also facilitate awareness and education on campus and sort of promote the overall goal of fair trade rather than just try to turn a profit still from the products.
Today is Oxfam's Tea Party, which is fantastic. What are you hoping students take away from this event today?
Well, it's the grand opening of our co-op, which is a little belated considering that it actually kind of started opening in October. But the whole idea is just to try to get students aware of this on campus, and the idea that, there's a new element to the JDAC, and that's the co-op, and that we want students to take advantage of what we can offer, and to get people to try some of our great stuff, because we've got, some fantastic chocolate and tea and hot chocolate and things like that.
What do you think of the idea of having a fair trade campus or a sweat-free campus?
I think it's a good idea. I think that if we can do as much as we can to ensure that our products are, as good being made and as good for us as possible, I think it's a good idea.
And, what are ways do you think that this can be kind of promoted across campus?
I think it's just important to educate students as much as possible as far as, what the current status is, as far as what our products are doing. If there is a negative connotation to it, then I think that it is then a good idea to move towards perhaps a more positive sort of pre-production for what we're selling on campus.
Now, do you think as a campus or even as a society we are socially aware of issues such as, sweat-free environments or fair trade?
I think students care, and students would say that, who would be like, no, I really want sweatshop clothing all over my campus. It's more, students feel disempowered. They feel like they don't know what to do about it. It's like, I would love to see more fair trade, but I don't know how to do it and I don't know where to go. So Queens Oxfam is about creating those connections so that you can take your beliefs, your ideologies, or the values that you have and actually translate them into action. And that's the whole idea of our campaign, is translating issues into local action.
An editorial was recently published in the Queen's Journal, and it was in regards to the management responding to the potential closure of the tricolor market. And in it they sort of mentioned, the issues with that and how they feel. What is your take on this issue?
Well, this issue came up quite a lot in the last few weeks. I mean, for us, we're very happy that we have the space we have right now. I mean, we're right here in the lower Kallan of the JDUC, and we have what isn't retail space, but really couldn't get any better than some of the retail space on campus. But at the same time, I think it's important that all of the club space, all of the retail space, just basically all the space on campus gets used to its optimal potential. And the tricolor market is selling goods that are sold at multiple other places on campus.
What do you think Queens will get out of having a sweat-free campus, or even a fair trade campus?
Well, they'll probably just sort of get a ethical sort of well-being. I think it was just sort of people will feel good, and they might want to even brag to other campuses and be we're sort of socially aware, and it's sort of setting a good example.
Yeah, definitely, because we need another reason to feel stuck up about ourselves.
How can students get either involved with something like Oxfam, or perhaps just without joining still promote this essential issue?
Well, you can certainly come shop here or go shop at the Year Center in Mac Brown Hall. You could come to the club meetings at 5:30 on Mondays, or you can stop by the co-op anytime. We are always looking for more volunteers.
So Queens, we've talked to a couple people around campus. We've interviewed the executive. I think it's kind of obvious that it's really great to promote this kind of environment on our campus, maybe around to your friends in other universities as well. Fair trade is a great thing, so make sure you come out and check out Oxfam and see the products they have available. And hope you guys enjoyed.